These are like very important films and books that you should be reading, bro.
Even if evidence shows a nation like the UK is in the state of decline in every aspect, using think tank mainstream government propaganda media sources like the BBC and Channel 4 to spread convenient information to them rather than the factual truth often showcased on freedom of speech platforms like Twitter through independent journalists with no bias agendas. The notion of Orwell's 2 + 2 = 5 isn't simply just a mathematical error. It is a clear indication as the truth we know can often be manipulated into someone else through forms of manipulation and control. And just like in 1984 what was considered fictional is now reality, is that those who don't comply are assimilated to what the party believes, or they are punished.
How can anyone hope to eliminate us? As long as this nation exists, so will we.
Cut the crap! If you're immortal, why would you take away individual freedoms and censor the net?
Jack, don't be silly.
Don't you know that our plans have your interests, not ours, in mind?
In contrast, Aldous Huxley warned of a world very much like ours, within his novel Brave New World.
Another excellent book, by the way, that you should read. You need to read these books. You need to make your kids read these books. A life without freedom is not a life worth living. Now, I'm not talking about freedom to be debaucherous and do disgusting things. And I think we have a moral responsibility to the creator. But I'm talking about to have the right to speak out against things you don't believe in and have public debate.
Which basically speaks of an endless pleasure, an endless consumption of a society.
There's a scene from the movie They Live with Rowdy Piper and Keith David. I had the honor of meeting Keith David. He goes to the Russian tea room a lot. He was just there last week. I wish I would have went. I wish I knew he was there. That's a movie you should all watch. You'll love it. You can find it even on YouTube. They Live. Amazing movie, bro.
Where corporations and
I call them the globalists.
States hack the human brain, training people to love their servitude, to depend on systems that keep them docile, distracted, and endlessly consuming, overriding the dopamine reward systems, making you hooked to their algorithms, addicted, eating their fast food that large...
I mean, we got to be honest, man. Very addictive. It is. And I struggle with it.
Yeah, it's bad.
For me, it's even harder because my work is connected to it, right? But it's just, it's overwhelming. This doom scrolling is a cancer on our minds, our hearts, and our souls.
Corporations load with chemicals that we have in our supermarket food, which goes hand in hand with Big Pharma, which medicates illnesses rather than treating the problem. One quote from Upton Sinclair tells us, "It is difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends upon not understanding it." This implies people have become too dependent on something they rely on. And instead of really taking the fight to the system, it's more comfortable to exist in a disguised utopia.
Freedom, civil rights, opportunities. The founding principles of this country. Everything that's about to be wiped out by their digital censorship.
Often when
that guy was the enemy, the bad guy in the game. What is it called? Solid,
yeah, I found him to be really boring. I never got off the damn ship in that one. Like I
the Taker.
I didn't have the patience for that game, man. Snake,
Solid Snake.
Yeah, stupid ass names, bro. But this video, man. Now that I'm looking back at it, I feel like they were like trying to wake kids up, bro.
They did it through their campaign as well.
Yeah, bro.
They lied to the whole gaming community saying you were going to play Solid Snake, but it was misinformation. Oh, you're going to play Solid Snake throughout the game. They lied to us.
Governments roll out policies, it's never presented to the public beforehand to decide what it wishes for its society. Sometimes it's just made mandatory. Governments and corporations present digital IDs as the next great innovation for society. They tell us it's about convenience.
I'm telling you, this is going to be a big problem. We're at the crossroads. People in the UK, all over Europe, that one ID, they shut that off. You're finished, bro. There is no cash. There's no way out. I say, like, we got to get to a point, man, where it's just like, okay, I understand we can do it technologically, but I don't trust it and I don't want it, period. Too much control. The founding forefathers in America gave us certain rights for a reason. And I think that they are being eroded and we need to really be careful, bro. Seriously.
With one card, one login, a profile that unlocks everything from banking.
And of course, once they pull this off, all it is a chip. First, you build the infrastructure. That's how the devil gets you. He gets you in phases. He doesn't just get you because people would resist. People don't like to change anything. Ask any salesperson when they're trying to sell something. You could sit there explaining the most amazing things to somebody, and they're just like, Human beings are resistant to change. So the devil knows that. The devil does it slow, easy, solid snake.
Yeah.
It's chaos. Creates chaos so they can offer the solution. That's their most effective strategy. Yeah, solid snake.
To healthcare. No more lost paperwork. They say it will make life seamless. And above all, they frame it as progress. The natural step for modern civilization. The old way of living is outdated. Silicon Valley often says this. And if you resist it, you're standing in the way of their future. And I say their because who agreed on it? Because once again, who asked for anything that gets rolled out these days? Technology is great, sure, but when people often forget the intent of those who created it and for what other purposes they intend to use it for, it becomes a problem. But it often comes in a form of a disguise, just for your convenience and entertainment.
Got a little too close to uncovering corruption among high-profile party members. After being sued for defamation by the subject of a story he'd written, he was blacklisted. They only realized when he tried to buy a train ticket and was told he was banned from traveling.
That's crazy, bro. Okay? Because that's how they're already operating with that digital system. So we already see its abuse of power. We're going to allow this to come to the West. They want it. I say it's time to say, no, we don't want it. We won't comply.
Okay, USA. That tells me I'm still on the blacklist.
Punished because he's been branded untrustworthy by the state.
Once you're blacklisted, you can no longer get a bank loan, start a business, buy an apartment, or even send your children to a private school.
The system is sold to us as a gift, as if it exists to serve the people. In reality, it exists to bind the people.
That's called doublespeak, classic Orwellian term. They say something and make it look like something else.
Under a regime. History
like war is peace. Peace is war. That's doublespeak.
Has shown us this countless times of psychopathic rulers abusing the public human rights in their means to control the world. It's honestly bizarre how so many so-called
Bengal famine of 1943. During World War II, famine took out the lives of up to 3 million Indians. Churchill's policies, redirecting food suppliers to Europe armies, refusal to release reserves depending on the crisis. That was the British Empire. That's how merciful they were. What good people they were. The Royal Crown, they were great. Good people.
Intellectuals have never picked up a history book because if they read one, they'd realize that history is a gateway into the future and things often don't change as history often repeats itself. Another great theme that we see on...
That looks like my kidney stones in my kidney right now. I hope to God this is what he does. I hope he destroys them inside into tiny pieces where they just come right out of my urine.
Within Metal Gear Solid. The pattern never changes, and throughout the ages, there's been several rulers and leaders that have committed all kinds of atrocities to the people. If people believe the system is for their own good, they will not only accept it, they will defend it to the death. And if people don't accept it, governments find other means and ways, albeit all...
The one-eyed liar is coming for you and yours. AI. Beware of the one eye.
Orwellian, or in the form of a comfortable lie, as Aldous Huxley suggested.
Suppose that this rather frightful prospect comes about. I mean, are people going to be happy under this kind of regime? Well, I think you could